taken a look at who he actually is and from where he comes. Let's take a look at his landmark judgments, which my colleague Sambhav was in fact talking about, and he's been a part of very key landmark judgments. So when we look at one of the most important ones, it's the Article 370 verdict. Now, Justice Kant was part of the historic bench that upheld the abrogation of Article 370, which removed Jammu and Kashmir's special status. Now, this is one of the most important judgments that Justice Surya Kant was part of. He was part of that bunch that actually upheld the removal of Article 370 and revoked that special status from the state of Jammu and Kashmir. He was also part of a bench that actually put the sedition law on hold. Now, what that actually was, he actually suspended the colonial era sedition law. There was a law that was formed during the colonial times, and he was part of the bench that actually put a stay on this colonial era law. He directed the states and the centre not to register new FIRs under section 124A of the IPC until the government completed a reconsideration of the provision. The order was widely viewed as a major push for free speech. Now, remember that since this was a colonial era law, there was a lot of constricting free speech, and this judgment, which actually put it on hold, was seen as something that was pushing forward the idea of free speech. Now, he was also part of the bench that heard the Pegasus surveillance allegations. So, this is another major case that he was part of. The court appointed a committee of cyber experts to investigate the claims, remarking that the state cannot be given a free pass in the name of national security. So, this is very important because he stated that the state cannot get a free pass in the name of national security in the entire Pegasus surveillance case, and they also formed a committee of all those cyber experts. Next, when we look at the Bihar electoral rolls revision, this is again one of the most important topics that has been talked about, and Justice Surya Kant was part of that bench which actually asked the Election Commission of India to disclose the details of the 65 lakh voters who were dropped from Bihar's draft rolls during the SIR procedure. So, he actually asked the ECI to reveal those names because a lot of controversy was brewing around it. So, he asked the ECI just disclose those 65 lakh names that have been removed from the electoral roll. So, a very important case again over here. He was also part of judgments that portrayed gender, justice and local governance. So, he led a bench that actually reinstated a woman sarpanch removed from office unlawfully. So, when a woman sarpanch was unlawfully removed from her position, he actually led a bench to prove that it was unlawful. He also directed that 1/3 of seats in the bar associations, including the Supreme Court Bar Association, be reserved for women. So, he is also pushing forward the idea of gender equality. He stated that all bar associations, including the Supreme Courts, should have reservation for women lawyers. Then he was also part of the governor president powers reference. Now, what this actually case was about, Justice Kant was part of the constitution bench hearing the presidential reference on the powers of governors and the president in dealing with state legislation. And the verdict in this case, however, is awaited, but he is part of this very important topic that discusses the powers of the governor and the powers of the president when it comes to dealing with state legislature. So, this is another important case that he is heading a bench on. He is part of the bench on. Then another landmark judgment is the one rank, one pension policy, or the OROP. It was again in the news for a very long time, and this bench actually upheld the one rank, one pension scheme as constitutionally valid. Since there was a lot of controversy regarding it, this bench stated that it is constitutionally valid. Then he continued to hear matters related to women officers seeking parity in permanent commission in the armed forces. So obviously we also, he has dealt with cases where women officers actually sought parity in permanent commission in the armed forces. Another one of his important landmark judgments was the AMU minority status reconsideration. Now, the AMU is the Aligarh Muslim University, and over there was a case regarding its minority status and its reconsideration. So, on a 7-judge bench, Justice Kant helped overturn the 1967 Aligarh Muslim University ruling, paving the way for a fresh examination of AMU's minority status. So, this bench actually paved the way for a fresh examination of AMU's minority status. So now you can see, we have seen so many judgments. It was varied, a lot of different profiles that have been covered by Justice Surya Kant during his entire professional career, and we can see gender equality, we can see constitutional cases. So Sambhav, when we are talking about so many landmark judgments, he has been part of everything. He has been there, he has done that. Sambhav.
Absolutely, you discussed in details about the important judgments, and him being the part of very important benches of the Supreme Court, passing very important judgments, which not just talk about the privacy of an individual, where a state cannot take a free ride in the Pegasus case. But also the other cases, if I talk about the other cases, as you rightly pointed out, be it the abrogation of Article 370 or the gender sensitization issue. But however, I want to talk about what Justice Surya Kant said in an informal interaction with a journalist at his residence ahead of being, swearing in a ceremony day before yesterday on Saturday evening. He called a journalist at his residence and he discussed a variety of issues. However, that conversation was quite informal in nature, but the points he raised are very important. He said, as the Chief Justice of India, his focus, and rather his primary focus, will be to reduce the pendency of the cases. And obviously judiciary faces the heat of the people. People question judiciary when it comes to the pendency of cases. It's a very hot debated topic in India, and Justice Surya Kant said he'll focus on reducing the pendency of cases, first in the top court, that is the Supreme Court of India, then in the high courts and the lower courts during his 15 months tenure till February 2027. He also talked about many other aspects which I want to highlight here, and that is, he talked about not just pendency, but how mediation can help in reducing this pendency. He said that, according to Justice Surya Kant, and he said it earlier as well in many of the functions, that mediation is a way through which the pendency of cases could be reduced, and mediation is a way through which the issues could be resolved before reaching to the courts of the country. So he highlighted the role of mediation in reducing the pendency of the cases. He said that mediation should be used as a tool to discuss out the differences, to bridge up the differences between two parties rather than directly coming to the court. So it is to be seen how mediation is going to unfold in his career as Chief Justice of India, and also the pendency of cases in the country we'll observe, we'll analyze once he retires after 15 months how his tenure unfolded when it comes to the pendency of the cases. But yes, the important aspect of Justice Surya Kant's personality, what I learned from a few personal interactions with Justice Surya Kant, is that he is very he listens very carefully, and he is a man of the words. What he says, he follows in spirit. And because see, in many of the rulings which you discussed out with our viewers, I was here in the Supreme Court, heard the matters, and especially the recent one, the special intensive revision exercise. He gives a very patient hearing. That's a very important aspect of his personality. He gives a very counsels, and at the end he questions the, authorities if it is required, especially if we talk about, for example, in the special intensive revision exercise case. He questioned the election commission on certain aspects when it comes to this particular exercise, and disclosing, or rather publishing, the names of or details of the 65 lakh people who, according to opposition, are missing in this after this particular exercise. So he questioned Election Commission of India on certain fronts to seek clarity. However, he listened every aspect of what Election Commission of India has said in the Supreme Court and other councils have said in the Supreme Court. And similar was the case here, when the Supreme Court have 5-judge constitution bench has given this presidential reference judgment. Here also the very important aspect of his personality got revealed. He gives a very patient hearing to the councils, and both the opposition parties, and the government, in most of the cases, especially in these SIR cases, they all are kind of satisfied with the patient hearing Justice Surya Kant gives. And now this particular SIR case, if I talk about, will come again on 26th of November, when he will be the Chief Justice of India. It is to be seen what happens next in this particular case, because the exercise is being conducted in different states of the country, and different states, including several political parties of the state of Tamil Nadu, has approached the Supreme Court. But now I will tell my viewers that it is now 9:23, 9:23. Now it's likely any time in the Rashtrapati Bhavan, the swearing-in ceremony will start, and President Draupadi Murmu will administer the oath of office to the 53rd Chief Justice of India, Justice Surya Kant. And here the Supreme Court is also all set, decked up to welcome its new Chief Justice of India. Justice Surya Kant will be the Chief Justice of India till February 2027, 15 months of tenure. He is, he will be the Chief Justice of India for next 15 months, and it is to be seen what all matters will come before him, because see, especially he himself pointed out on the pendency of cases, role of mediation, among others, to lessen this burden of the pendency of cases. 15-month tenure is a long tenure. It is to be seen how the pendency of cases, which he also talked about, will be reduced in the Supreme Court. Because see, for the benefit of our viewers, I want to just say one thing here. Outside the Supreme Court, gate number C and gate number D, two gates of the top court, there is a big screen which shows the exact data of the pendency of cases and how many cases are disposed of today by the top court of the country. So it's in public domain. There is a big screen on the gate number C and gate number D, that is on the Tilak Marg and Bhagwan Das Marg, where citizen of the country, common people, can see what is going on, exactly going on inside the courts, inside the courtrooms, Supreme Court, but other courts as well. So that's something which is which shows that yes, judiciary is in a way accountable to public, and the public can see what's going on in the courtrooms, and especially in the courtrooms of the top court of the country. Now it's around 9:25, and it is to be, Justice Surya Kant will take oath as the Chief Justice of India any time from now, and then he will come to the Supreme Court, and then regular court matters will be taken up.
Absolutely, Sambhav, and I think Justice Surya Kant has also spoken about the use of AI, how there are many potential merits to it, and also how it can be a little harmful, because in the end he has stated that people want judges to decide the cases, not AI. But what more could you share on that front?
Absolutely, very important point you raised here, the role of artificial intelligence. I reported many of his speeches in our daily editions, the Daily Guardian, and here Justice Surikant in many of the functions has praised. On one hand, he praised the role of artificial intelligence in the role of in justice delivery system. However, he cautioned that it cannot be, this artificial intelligence cannot take up the humane angle. Now, humane angle is very important, and humane touch to law is very important, is what Justice Surikant has highlighted on different on different platforms when he talked about role of artificial intelligence, and also in an informal conversation with us journalists the day before yesterday, he talked about role of intelligence. However, if I may say that he cautioned that artificial intelligence AI tools should be used carefully, and it has both advantages and disadvantages. This is not the first time he has talked about artificial intelligence and role of artificial intelligence in the justice delivery system. No doubt it is important.
All right.
This is
Thank
what
you so
sets.
much, Sambhav, for all those details. We are slipping into a short break. We'll be back.